Most people with Citi ThankYou Points are accidentally throwing away hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in value. They make one of 3 common redemption mistakes because Citi makes it easy to do so. But the best way to use your points is actually hidden in plain sight, and it's the only method I personally use to get maximum value for my travel. I'm going to show you exactly what that is and why the other options are secretly draining your points. My name is Michael with Nurse Michael Travels, by the way. I teach you how to use your points and miles and credit card rewards to travel more for less. But now, to unlock this incredible value I'm going to be talking about, you will need one specific card in your wallet, and that's the Citi Strata Premier. Other cards like the Citi Double Cash or the Custom Cash cards are fantastic for earning a lot of points per dollar that you spend, but the Strata Premier is the key that unlocks the door to the best travel redemptions. But now first, let's look at these easy options that Citi offers. This is the low-hanging fruit that most people grab, and I'm going to show you why that fruit isn't as sweet as it seems. When you log in and want to redeem your rewards, just scroll down and click this View and Redeem button. And then Citi will promptly give you these 4 options to redeem your points, and this is where most people go wrong because they're all low-value options right up front. We'll call them value drains. The first mistake people make is trying to redeem your points for cash equivalents or for shopping specifically. For instance, if you use your points when shopping for Amazon and then you look up the conversion rate, you see that you'll only get $8 for every 1,000 points you use. If you divide that $8 by the 1,000 points you're using, that's 0.8 cents per point. And to me, 1,000 points should be worth a bare minimum of $10. Anything less and you are straight up losing money. This is a terrible deal. This is the same with the pay with points option. It takes more points than 1,000. This is the number of points it takes to redeem for $10. Again, that 0.8 cents per point, poor value. And then with gift cards, buying these can give you that 1 cent per point ratio. And occasionally, if you find gift cards on sale, you can get even slightly higher than that, like a 1.1 cent per point. But this still ain't it. Before getting into the high value stuff, there's a second mistake that people make, and you would think it's a good one. It's booking travel through this button here, through their travel portal. Because if you wanted to book a hotel through the Citi travel portal, whenever you go to check out to pay, you have the option on using your points for travel, which is what the goal is, right? Wrong. Because what it's offering you is a 1 cent per point valuation. This $500 hotel is going to cost you 50,000 points. If you get it down to the cent, it'll just move that decimal point 2 spaces over. That's the total number of points you're going to be paying. This is the number of points we want to be using, so this is another value trap here. So if these 4 options aren't good, where are the good options? Well, for that, you have to click on this little link where it says more ways to redeem. But before we get into the really good stuff, I do want to share a tempting option. That's just to simply cash out your points. And you could do that by clicking cash, and you have the option between statement credit or direct deposit. And as you can see here, it cashes them out at a 1 cent per point ratio, which is great that they're not robbing you, but it's still not what we're looking for. But here's a quick warning about this cashback method using the Citi Strata Premier. Starting on August 24th, Citi is actually devaluing this option for Citi Strata Premier holders. You'll no longer get that 1 cent per point ratio. It'll drop to that terrible 0.8 cents per point rate. So this will make cashing out a genuinely bad deal. However, the good news is that if you also hold a no annual fee card like the Citi Double Cash or the Custom Cash, you will still be able to cash out at the full 1 cent per point. So this is a great off-ramp if you ever need the cash. I'll show you exactly how to combine your points later in the video because it's a crucial step if you haven't already done it before. But enough about cashback because we're not here for off-ramps. We're here for maximum value, free vacations, business class, all the things that Instagram dreams are made of. The single best way to do that is by ignoring everything on Citi's website that they're throwing at you and focusing on one thing: transfer partners. It's in fact hidden on this page right here. In order to find it, go to more ways to redeem and select points transfer. And voila, here's the full list of transfer partners. Now, if you don't know, transfer partners are airlines and hotels that have a partnership with Citi. You can send your thank you points directly to your loyalty account with said airline or hotel. Often it's at a 1-to-1 ratio unless otherwise indicated. And now this is where the magic happens. Let me show you 2 examples to really convince you. Our first example is going to be using Preferred Hotels and Resorts, which uses the hotel program I Prefer Hotel Rewards here. So you can go to preferredhotels.com and start your search there, but I prefer to use the iprefer.com website. You can join and log in here, and then once you're logged into your newly created account, you can simply search for hotels here. So let's say you want to go to Italy and Rome, because Rome is actually kind of difficult to get a good points hotel deal. You can leave this check-in and check-out box open. There's no real reason to fill that in because you're going to select your dates later on. Once you hit search, it'll give you all these different hotel options and the cash prices. Simply select the show rates drop down menu and go to points. It'll give you the points price. Now, as you can see, these prices are pretty high, 150,000 points per night, but you do get 100,000 and then a 75,000 points option down here. Now, that sounds really high, but if you caught it, Citi actually transfers at a 1-to-4 ratio. So for every 1,000 points you transfer over to I prefer, you get 4,000 points. That means this 100,000 point option is actually only 25,000 points per night, which might not be too bad. So let's say we're interested in this. Let's click view rates here. From here, you can select the number of adults, and then it will give you this nice calendar to show you what dates are available. Let's pick a weekend in September since it's all 100,000 points anyway, and then select continue. You can scroll down and see your prices here. Always click this show with taxes and all fees included because sometimes I prefer does include fees in addition to the points price. It doesn't appear to be doing so for this specific hotel, but it says 100,000 points per night is what we're seeing as the price. It doesn't let me go any further because I don't have enough points to book it. However, we can unclick this use I prefer points and it'll show us the cash rate. So as we can see, this is $727 per night. And if we look this up on the Citi travel portal, for 2 nights, they'll be charging us $1,300. Even with the $100 credit that you get with the Citi Strata Premier whenever you book a hotel for $500 or more, I'm still using up all 95,000 points that I have, and I would still owe $300 at the actual hotel. Whereas instead, if I just transferred 50,000 points, which is again $500 worth on the travel portal, I could book 2 nights at this super nice hotel. If you're a numbers person and you want to know how much better is this than the travel portal numbers wise, if we take the cash price divided by the points price, that would give us 2.62 whenever you take it out of the decimal form. Whereas you get 1 cent per point on the travel portal, you're getting 2.62 points whenever you transfer your partners for this specific redemption. That is maximum value. By the way, this is my award redemption calculator. It helps me figure out what redemptions are worth using my points for. You can check out a link in the description for that. Now for our next partner, let's check out flight options. So for this example, I'm going to show you Flying Blue. And if we look at our list of transfer partners, we can see that there's actually a promotional transfer bonus going on. Normally, your Citi ThankYou Points transfer to Flying Blue at a 1-to-1 ratio, but in this instance, there's a 20% transfer bonus, so 1,000 points will give you 1,200 Flying Blue miles. This is temporary. It's expiring on July 19th, but these promotional transfer bonuses happen at least a few times a year. If you want to know when these happen, be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter down in the description below. But if you're not familiar with Flying Blue, they are the rewards program for the 2 airlines, Air France and KLM. To search for these flights, you're going to go to either airfrance.us or klm.com. Doesn't really matter whichever one's being less glitchy that day. Once you create your account and log into your Air France account, select this Book with Miles tab here, and let's continue our Rome theme. Let's say we want to go from Portland all the way over to Rome using points. And so to do so, just type in Portland to Rome, leave the departure date blank. That is a trick here. Type in the number of people you want to go. You can add people as you wish. I'm going to keep it to 1 adult here, and then you can keep it on economy. We're going to look at a round trip flight since those seem to be more affordable in terms of the number of points required. So hit search flights. It'll give you this beautiful award calendar. So like I said, KLM and Air France, they're a bit glitchy. So it's going to show you this award calendar. It's going to show us our lowest price options, 25,000 miles. However, if we click on one of these dates, it'll give us the results, and we could scroll down. It's going to have the lowest price highlighted in green. And in this case, it's actually 18,750 miles one way. That's because Flying Blue, they have these promotional awards that change every month, but a list of cities will have a 25% discount on their flights. So instead of costing 25,000 points like it normally would, it's only going to cost 18,750. So this is great. We got our one way there. Let's say we want to have a fun itinerary where we start in Rome and then we end up in Milan. So if we repeat the steps for the opposite direction, just search one-way flights each way. For a city like Milan, just be sure to put the full metropolitan city, Milan, and it will give you the options of both of the airports or the multiple airports here. So we scroll down here. I already did the work, and you can find a flight from Milan over to Portland. This is on October 5th, by the way, so a nice long week in Europe. Again, you get that same good promotional price with 18,750 miles, a little bit more in taxes and fees. Whenever you're coming back from Europe, you're always going to get a little bit more. So if we look up about how much this type of flight costs, a mixed itinerary booking similar to this one's going to cost $861. So how do we know if this is a good deal instead of just eyeballing it? Well, if you're a numbers person like me, this is where that handy dandy spreadsheet comes in again. So you just type in the total price of their flight that we're looking at. You could type in the separate points price and cash price of each segment here. Don't forget to account for that 20% transfer bonus here. So put in 20% and it's going to tell us the value that we're getting from your points is actually 1.73, which is a lot better than that travel portal price of just 1 cent per point that we were getting with Citi. So even with these taxes and fees accounted for, we're getting a significantly better deal. And then if you were curious about getting into a business class flight, go ahead, get back to that front page, select this drop down menu to business instead of economy. See this calendar again, and the cheapest flight that you can get on points is going to be 60,000 one way on Air France or KLM. So if we look at this, it's 60,000 miles with $275 in fees. The estimated cash price is around $1,700 for this one-way flight. Type that into our calculator here and you can see that it's a good 2.85 cents per point. That's including the 20% transfer bonus, so we're only going to be spending 50,000 Citi points for this flight. And so across these three lines here, you can see the range of values that we can get from your Citi points and really how to get maximum value from your Citi points. Now, if you're tired of the hypotheticals and you want to know, okay, Michael, how do I actually do this? Let me show you how to transfer your points. Let's say we're going back to that first example with preferred hotels and resorts, and you want to transfer your points for that Rome hotel. Hit continue on this transfer partner list whenever you identify which partner you want. You'll simply state how many points you want to transfer. So 50,000 points will give you 200,000 I prefer points to book that night at 100,000 points per night, so giving you 2 nights. From here, you simply type in your I prefer rewards number, which if you're on your I prefer account, just simply click on your name and my account on the top right-hand corner, and it will give you that number in the left-hand corner. I'm not going to show you mine. It'll then ask you to confirm some terms, so click whatever you got to click, and then it'll take you to a confirmation page, and you'll select transfer now, which is in this bottom right-hand corner over here. And then it shouldn't take much time, but it'll ultimately end up in your I prefer rewards account, which you can then redo the search and go ahead and with that booking process. I didn't actually transfer my points because I'm not ready to make a booking with I prefer rewards. And that is tip number 1 that beginners often make, is don't transfer your points until you're actually ready to make a reservation or an award booking, because award availability changes all the time, devaluations happen all the time, and once you transfer your points into one program, you cannot transfer them back to Citi. So only transfer whenever you're ready to book something. Also, quick tip, if you have a Citi Double Cash or a Citi Custom Cash and you don't know how to combine your points with the Citi Strata Premier, here's how to do so. You go back like you're going to redeem your points and make sure to select this more ways to redeem. So that way you can get to the Thank You Points landing page. From here, you'll want to go click your initials in the top right-hand corner and select My Citi Accounts. Now mine looks different because I've already combined my accounts, so that way my points are in one pool. So if your accounts aren't combined, you might see an option that says combine your points here or transfer your points or something along that line. You might see a third option here. If so, you'll then have the functionality to transfer points from your Citi Double Cash account to your Citi Strata Premier account and vice versa. However, if you don't have that option, don't worry, I didn't either. It's probably because your profile, this link right here, your profile with all your personal information probably doesn't match exactly with your other. This includes address and all your phone numbers, email address, your name. It has to match exactly. Only whenever that happens will you see the option to merge your points. And so what you'll need to do is just edit this section, make sure it says one thing, and then whenever you get to this Thank You Points landing page, it'll ask you which card you want to enter. Enter the other card, update that contact information to be the exact same, maybe refresh your page, log out, log back in, and you should see that option. And then whenever you go to access the website and manage your points, it'll then ask you, oh, do you want to combine your points into a single pool? And then you'll just say yes, and it will do whatever happened to my account now. And so now all your points are in one place. From here, you might be wondering what else is possible with Citi's transfer partners. Well, lucky for you, I ranked them all here for you in this video so you can get a taste of that. Or if you've tried looking for award flights, but you find it very difficult, award search tools might be the help that you're looking for. And I talk about all the different kinds out there in this playlist here. Don't forget to check out the links and the resources down in the description for you. I'll see you in the next one.